Okay.
Okay, it's just basically what some people deem as a good wrist lock or a bad wrist lock or a good technique or a bad technique. I've seen a lot of times on YouTube where people are showing techniques which aren't that workable. They'll work on an opponent who's helping them out or not always compliant, but they won't necessarily work on someone who's non-compliant or someone who is strong in the wrists. So basically, when we're starting off the training, we're looking to go from a grab or a hold, so the person's grabbing you. So when you start off your training from this level, it's not too heavy a hold, and you learn to twist your thumb into the gap, because it doesn't matter if someone grabs you as tight as they can and as hard as they can. I'm going on to this now. You've still got some form of movement because of the skin and muscle and tendon on the bone. Okay. So from basically going from a hold, we start from a hold to start and then work on the ground and punching and striking, etc. We need to first of all be able to break out. So the basic principle of breaking out is turning on, twisting the hand and then pulling the thumb out of the weaker part of the circle. Now obviously the wrist is shaped so that it isn't a circle, the wrist isn't a circle, it's an oval. So it's thinner this way and thicker this way. Okay, so if we, from the grip being tight, if we turn the oval into the thumb and we twist and turn into the thumb, then just by twist and turning action, you're already halfway out from even a strong hold. So in your defence, if someone's got a hold of you, you've got to understand that they're in control. They have got control of the situation. So you see defences, people grab them and they kick them in the groin, or they grab them and they punch them to the face. Well, this guy at this point, this opponent or enemy is in control. So if I'm going to set to try and punch, he's got control. If I go to kick, he's got control. So at this point in time, it isn't necessarily a good thing to let this person have this control. So like I say, we start off light and then we get heavier, later on much heavier. Okay, so the principle is to twist and then pop it out or pull it out. And the thumb is always the guide to the way you can grip really tight and yet you can quite easily pop it out. If you haven't got a good technique to start off, you can use your legs to step in and out, and you can use your legs and your body weight to add mass to your technique, so it's going to be a much better technique. Okay, so if we are breaking out, then we're looking to take control of ourselves. Okay, so we do this on the right side, because most people in the world are right-handed, and then once you've practiced on the right side, you then move on to the left side, and everything has got to work exactly the same. You've got to be able to twist, and then if you need to, step to pull out. So this is practicing your balance and then practicing your breaking out of your techniques as well. Basically there's 10 breakouts. Okay, once we break out, we often need then, if I just go try to grab this person, they'll just tense up, and it doesn't matter how hard I try and get this lock off or even get a control of the arm, I'm going to have no chance, because the tension, and then what's going to be happening is there's going to be raining down with punches or kicks or the head or the elbow or anything. So from this hold, I need to first get out of the hold and then take the person. When I take their balance, just for one split point in time, a second, you take their mind, take their thought just for a second. And the time they regain it, you've obviously applied a locking technique. It doesn't matter about techniques, you're not talking about techniques on this video, just ideas, principles and concept, they're the more important thing. So when the hand is held, we look into break out of the hold and take control. Often you see on people training, they use the thumbs, so they come in with the thumbs to do a technique. This is really not very good. I've been training a number of years. If I try and put a technique on with the thumbs, I can't even get it on. His wrist is much thicker and stronger than my thumb. He can obviously break out with the technique and take my thumbs as well, and he can take me out of the technique. So this is going to A, get out of the technique, and B, possibly damage my thumbs. So that's not a very good technique. So if you're relying on your thumbs to do the technique, and you see a lot of people also coming in and trying it with one hand, and they twist this person and this person goes, but if he just resists a bit, it doesn't matter how, you can have strong thumbs, but you're not going to move someone who's bigger than you. So we are going to rely on our wrists to do the technique, because as I said, the weakest part of the link in the chain is the thumbs in this instance, if you use the thumbs. But if you apply the same techniques by using your wrists then that is going to enable your technique to be much, much stronger, because now the weakest part of your technique is your wrists. So it doesn't matter which way or which lock you apply to this person. We need to lock the wrist in this instance because we're demonstrating a wrist lock, but also I need to look at the second joint in the sequence, which in this case obviously is always going to be the elbow. And often with a lock you'll need to look at the next joint also. So for certain joints to work, I've got to be mindful and knowledgeable about the body anatomy and how it works. So when I'm looking for the wrist lock, I need to not physically lock the elbow out mechanically, but I need to lock the elbow out with alignment. So I need the lock to work with alignment. So when I put the lock on now, I've got a natural alignment. If I don't control the next joint, what the experienced fighter's going to do is just pull that elbow away from me, and then they might be putting me in a lock or something. Yeah, so I really need to have knowledge on that point. So I'm breaking out, I'm taking the balance, I'm sinking, chum, and then I'm going into my lock. When I go into my lock, I'm going to use my wrist, as I said. I'm using a good body structure coming from the centre, and I'm looking to apply my stance and my legs into the technique as well. And that doesn't matter which lock you're doing, how you're going for any lock. You need to have that ability and that knowledge. So guys, forget this stuff and this stuff, because unless he's really, really weak, or unless I'm very, very super strong, this isn't going to work. Technically, this is a very weak technique. Okay, it'll work against someone who's compliant, it'll work against someone who's weak. But if it's strong, I'll put it on, it's not working. I can drive with my legs, it's not working. But if I use my wrists, it'll work. Okay, thanks.